What's going on, guys, and welcome back to another video on Juniper Rising. And today we're going to be talking about Destiny, more specifically Destiny 2. Now, PlayStation Experience is coming up, and we're going to get a lot more information about Sparrow Racing and other things coming to Destiny Rise of Iron. But a lot of people, and I highly doubt that this will happen, but some people think that maybe we'll get a little teaser about Destiny 2. I really don't expect that happening until E3 or maybe early 2017. I don't expect them giving away anything this soon on the game. But it got me interested, and I decided to compile a list of 10 things that I want to see in Destiny 2. This is my personal list. This isn't like things that the community wants. These are things that I personally felt were lacking in the first 3 years of Destiny. So if you guys can sit back, relax, enjoy some gameplay of me playing Destiny Rise of Iron, and I will give you my 10 things that I think need to be in Destiny 2. Number 10, new subclasses. Now, Taken King was great. It gave each class a third subclass and it added a new level to the game. Personally, I don't want three new classes. I think everyone's gotten attached to the classes that are already in the game, but it also just wouldn't go well. I mean, it wouldn't be correct with the story, the little story that there is in Destiny, but it just it wouldn't make any sense if all of a sudden you log into Destiny 2 and it gave you three new classes to choose from. I could understand maybe this is in the past, really far in the past, or really far in the future, but that I don't think that would really make sense either. I would like to have the three classes, just new subclasses to go along with it. I thought maybe it'd be cool if there was just this really difficult subclass that only the best Guardians got. And we have been seeing lots of concept art for what looks like a third class for each, a third subclass for each class. The hunter had what it looked like it had a red energy source. The hunter had a spear that he must have thrown. The titan had what people are thinking was a shield, but it looked like he was spinning something over his head, like a mace or maybe a sling or something in the particular picture I saw. But a lot of people were thinking it looked like a shield. I don't know. A lot of these pictures were extremely vague, and you could just make out the silhouettes of a guardian holding something, but the hunter was clearly holding a spear. And the warlock, which probably had the most interesting piece of artwork, was holding what appeared to be a sword and had angelic wings springing off its back. Now, we obviously know that Deej and Bungie they seem to prefer warlocks a little bit. I'm not going to get any debates about that or anything, but I really do think that they seem to prefer warlocks, so it doesn't surprise me that the warlock would be getting the coolest new subclass. But if this does pan out, I would love to see new subclasses and new bits of gameplay in Destiny 2. Number 9, actually being able to fly your ships. Now, this is something that I thought was actually going to be implemented in vanilla Destiny, and I was really surprised that when I bought my first ship or when I got my first ship in the first mission of Destiny, that I wasn't flying it all over the place. It really, all the ships that people seem to want to grind for some reason, all they do is make your loading screen look different. So I feel like something that seems as important as it isn't, I guess, because I really want to be able to fly some ships. Maybe there'll be a story mission where you have to do a bombing run over a fallen base or something. I think that'd be really cool. And we've seen in the opening cinematic of The Taken King that Bungie definitely has an interest in space battles. I mean, that epic space battle between the Taken and the Awoken was just awesome, and I'd really like to see that as a playable moment in the next Destiny game. So I think flyable ships, some missions, or maybe even a multiplayer mode, a dogfight mode, would be really cool. Especially since we grind for these ships in the Rise of Iron record book. We grinded for that gold and silver ship, and in the raids, they all have their own special ships. I'd really like it if they felt more special and you could get attached to your ship. You could customize maybe the weapons or maybe the paint jobs on them. I think that would be super cool. I think that would be a really good move for Bungie, so that's why that's my ninth choice. Number 8, kind of similar to number 9, but more vehicles. I would like there to be more vehicles besides the Interceptor, the Pike, and the Sparrow. especially since Bungie, we know from Halo that they're really good at designing and making really good driving mechanics and vehicle play in an open sandbox element. I think that they could really implement more vehicles really well into Destiny. I don't know about you guys, but after year one, the little vehicles that there were just disappeared. They were gone. We didn't see any more pikes, any more interceptors. All I really had were sparrows, which didn't even fire anything. They're just used for transportation means only. And I think that's a lot of talent on Bungie's design team and their gameplay team that's going to waste because we've seen them do it before. We've seen Bungie make these great vehicles. I mean, in Halo, the Warthog, there's no other vehicle that even compares to driving a Warthog or a tank or a Banshee from Halo. And I'm going to be comparing Halo vehicles to Destiny vehicles because really, when I did drive around the Pike and the Interceptor, it was good fun. It was really fun to see these new elements being added to story missions, strikes, and even a few multiplayer maps had some vehicles in year one. I don't know how many people remember that, but Combined Arms was a good amount of fun because you could get into an Interceptor, which is like a Cabal tank, and you could just go around, you would destroy the other team. And I think adding more vehicles and adding that new sort of gameplay aspect into Bungie's game would do just so much more for Destiny, and I think that'd be a great new feature. Number 7, a better explanation of the Awoken and the Exos. We have no idea where either of these races have come from, and from a storytelling standpoint, that's really weak, and I really, especially the Exos, like I was just, the whole time I'm playing, my Warlock character is an Exo, and I don't even know what if he's a robot, if he's like human, if he actually has thoughts. I don't really know because there's so little dialogue and so little exposition of these new species. I mean, we know what people are, we know what humans are, although I would like to get a little more explanation as to where they stand. I believe that they could just bring in something really cool if they just explain these races further, like the Awoken and the Exos. We have a little bit more on the Awoken since we've had cutscenes where we've gone and we've talked to the Queen. We've even had a whole expansion that was kind of focused around the Awoken, but we still don't even know where they came from or who they are. But especially the Exos, I really want to know where the Exos came from. Were they built by humans? Were they produced from the Traveler? Were they maybe cousins to the Vex? I don't know. There is an endless amount of possibilities, and I'm pretty sure that the Exos are probably the most popular race, just because they look so cool. I mean, Cade 6, and I've seen some people just make some really cool looking Exo characters, and it sucks. It's an absolute criminal act that we don't even know where they come from. So, personally, I would love to know where Exos are from, where the Awoken are from, and maybe we'll see a new race that comes thrown into the mix because, I mean, hopefully we've explored a few more of these planets. Maybe a new race that we can play as would be beneficial to Destiny 2. Number 6, I want to see our characters wiped. Now, before you guys say anything, before you dislike this video, let me explain. If our gear is carried over, Bungie will be less keen on making new weapons and new armor, and I would really like to see just a clean slate and new weapons and armor. Now, I know a lot of people really do not want their characters to be taken off for good reason. We've spent 3 years now building up a character and becoming attached to it, and getting gear for it and grinding hours and even days sometimes to just get maybe one piece of armor. I remember the grind for Gjallarhorn in year 1. It was just so hard to get it to drop, and when you did, it was just really fun. It was really cool to see that. And I just want more of those moments again where they bring in some new weapons that are just OP and really fun to use. Armor that actually makes a difference, exotic armor, I mean, that actually makes a difference in the gameplay. And I don't know, maybe there'll be a new type of special, a new type of primary weapon. I don't know. Maybe we'll see a new type of heavy weapon because the different weapons in that one are kind of lackluster. They did bring in swords, which I think evened up the playing field a little bit, but I definitely like to see new types of weapons. I'd like to see new designs for weapons because, especially in year 2 and year 3, some of the designs for some of these new weapons are beautiful. Uh-oh. And I would really like to see some of the newer designs come into play. I know Bungie has some great artistic minds working for them, and just there's some really cool looking weapons and a lot of possibility for a new armor. And I know that Vanilla Destiny, year one, not year one, but the first Destiny game has lots of armor, lots of great designs, and it would be tough to double that amount essentially. But I wouldn't be opposed to them bringing back a few of the classics like a Hawkmoon or a Galahorn. I think that would definitely be a good idea, but I want to see new stuff. I want this game to be fresh because, from the sounds of it, Destiny 2 is going to essentially be a reboot. It's going to be a new slate, a fresh start, because Destiny has had a rocky start. Although it's a much better realized game than it was 3 years ago, I still think that they have a lot of work to do, and Destiny 2 is a great opportunity for them to do this. Number 5, a really good raid or something that brings something new. Now, so far, pretty much every raid has been unanimously good. Vault of Glass was probably the best part of year one Destiny. Crota's End was another solid raid. King's Fall, people were great, and this new raid, Wrath of the Machine, jumping puzzles and just very smart, intelligent new enemies and ways to take them down. I think it's fantastic what they've done with raids. And I would like to see this not just revamped. I don't want them to ruin raids, but Destiny 2, there's the possibility of raids being removed or being altered in a big way. While I would like to definitely see something new be added to the raids, I'd like to see new ideas being added to the raids. I don't want the formula to be changed majorly and have it ruined, or have them remove raids and be replaced with something else. So personally, I think a raid will be essential, and in a new IP, a new engine like Destiny 2, it's very possible that raids will not be in it. But I have a feeling that Bungie's probably going to stick to their guns. They're probably going to keep raids in this game, but just as a reminder, they're pretty much the best part about playing Destiny right now, and they're what keep people coming back. People keep grinding the raids. They have really the coolest gear is gotten from the raids, and it would just be, again, a criminal act if this gear, these raids, everything was just removed from the game. So please, Bungie, please keep raids in. Make them good like you have been. You've pretty much had home runs on all the raids so far. So I appreciate them, and I want them to stay in the game. Number 4, the ability to explore the last city. This was surprisingly something that's not very much talked about, but one of my biggest problems with the first game, and has a lot to do with the story, is that we're fighting to protect the last city, yet we've never even been down there. We've never seen it. We have no idea what's happened to the citizens, what's happened to humanity at all. And it's just, when you're fighting for something and you don't know what you're fighting for, it really sucks. And I'd like there to be a mission or something, maybe just have a open hub, a social area down in the last city that we can go to kind of see what the heck is going on, because I have no idea. I really have no idea what is going on down in the last city. You can see it from the Guardian's Tower. You can see buildings and stuff, and it looks huge, and it looks really interesting, but somehow we've spectacularly never been down there in 3 years of Destiny. I think people have almost forgotten about the last city and the fact that there's a huge city that we're trying to protect, and people, and it's just like you forget about it sometimes, because really it's not even mentioned except for maybe once in the opening cutscene of Destiny, Vanilla Destiny. So, come on, we need to see the last city. It's making me so curious because I have no idea what to expect down there. I don't know what state of humanity it's in. Maybe it's just really poor down there. Everyone's just scrounging for food. They don't know what to do. It's just got this hopeless vibe to it. Or maybe we're doing well off. I mean, you got your upper class, your middle class, and your lower class, and things are staying pretty civil down there, and the Guardians are the only reasons why this sort of aura of peace has been able to stay around the last city. But we don't know. So I want to see the last city in Destiny 2. Number 3, revamping the loot drop system. Now, I am not completely against a random loot drop system. It's sometimes it can be kind of fun, with the engrams, just like, oh, which engram am I going to, or which weapon I'm going to get out of this engram. But come on, when you're at the end of a Crucible match, and let's say you're playing Clash and you went like 30-5 and you did spectacularly, but you get a blue cloak or a rare cloak. and then the guy at the bottom of the leaderboard who like went like 1 in 29, and he gets a legendary, he gets an IS Luna or a wizard, the new fusion rifle, or a 2020 AMR, or a legendary weapon, or even like an exotic. Sometimes that can happen. Like that just, I don't know. I just don't like that. Or at the end of a Nightfall, maybe a little bit can be contributed to who did the best. You should get the highest rewards, or maybe certain modes will be based off of who did the best, and people who want that random chance can go elsewhere. I think that might be kind of broken because people who aren't very good at the game would always be going to the random chance ones, and it would be really sweaty, and whoever's the best gets it. But I mean, Trials kind of has done this, and you have to go 9-0 before you get the really good gear. So I mean, I don't really see a problem in that. I definitely want a fixed, revamped loot drop system. I don't think that's too much to ask for, especially since it's one of the most complained about things from Destiny. So I think that'd be a nice welcome addition. Number 2, bigger worlds or more planets. Now, a lot of rumors have been pointing towards a bigger open world in Destiny, like there will be towns that you can visit in these planets and stuff, and that sounds really good. I hope Bungie sticks with that idea, because having a bigger open world, I mean, the individual patrol planets, they felt open but constrained a little bit. Like, it would tell you exactly where to go, and it would try its best to drive you around different spots. And especially, I thought that the Dreadnought Patrol was extremely disappointing because it was all kind of indoors, and it was really, really small. But I think the Plaguelands are probably the best place to patrol as of now. But I would just like bigger worlds, more planets. Maybe we go into another system. Maybe our ships have advanced to that point where we can travel to other planets. We can travel to other systems and not just be constricted to planets that we even know about in real life. So I think it would be really cool is if just Bungie did some world building. They built more expansive worlds. And I think that would be really neat to drop down and to explore some really awesome new planets and just be free to roam wherever you want and do whatever you want. Even though it's kind of that way in patrol missions, not really, but it is. It is. You are free to go into different places, but it still feels constricted. And number 1, this really shouldn't come as a surprise to any of you, and that is a better linear story and a longer campaign. Destiny, from the beginning, has been plagued by terrible storytelling, which came as a surprise to me because Bungie was coming off of Halo, and Halo had, albeit a very simple story, but a great story at that. I'm a huge fan of Halo's story, and I was just ready for Bungie to craft and weave this really beautifully done story in Destiny, none of which happened. And that was, I think, a huge lost opportunity because they do such a good job at teasing you of such a much bigger universe. When you're on the moon and you see these structures, or you're on Venus and you realize that the planet's terraformed, this isn't how Venus is supposed to be. It's just mind-boggling how we just had one 2-minute cutscene in the beginning of Vanilla Destiny that did any sort of exposition, and that was it. The rest of the cutscenes were pretty much, as people like to say, people telling you why they can't explain things to you. I could tell you of the Great War. I could tell you of what happened thousands of years ago. I want to be told that. That's not burdening me that you're not telling me this, because I want to know why my guardian just woke up and was handed a rifle and was ready to go right away. I feel like there is weak storytelling. Now, the Taken King made leaps and bounds in storytelling. It wasn't perfect, but it was 100 times better than Year 1 Destiny. And I had no worries coming into Rise of Iron. I thought that they would expand on the Taken King story and make Rise of Iron's story even better. Again, Bungie shot themselves in the foot, and they gave us a very simple, short, and lackluster story in Rise of Iron. I wouldn't say it is worse than Year 1 Destiny. I'd say it's on the same level of it. They're very vague about what was going on, and really I wasn't too interested in what was going on. Like, Siva, I didn't find terribly interesting, unfortunately, even though I thought I would. I really didn't. You know, I didn't really care about Lord Saladin, and I thought that his character would be awesome. I mean, I was so ready to find out more about this mysterious figure who'd come to the tower every once in a while and put on this event called the Iron Banner. I wanted to know more about him. Unfortunately, when I found out more about him, he wasn't a very interesting character. So, I want to be able to delve into a great story in Destiny 2. I want to learn more about this universe, and I can't fathom the fact that Bungie has time and time again kept pulling us away from this really good story. I mean, they build up a beautiful universe. I mean, you spawn into that world and you just I want to know more about this. I desperately want to know more about it. Exiles are a perfect example. What are the Exiles? They look so cool. They seem so interesting. Why won't you tell me about them? I really, 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 really want a good story in Destiny 2. And I think that if Bungie can pull off a really great kick butt story in Destiny 2, Destiny will be able to fully cement itself as a great franchise. And they should have no problem selling this game to more people in the future. But I don't know. Those are just my opinions. Please comment below and let me know what you think would be a great addition to Destiny 2. If you agree with this list, if you don't, try and convince me otherwise if you think that I am just spouting absolute garbage. Yep, hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. Check out all the other Destiny videos on this channel. And until next time, this is Juniper, signing out.